Now, the first thing you need to do when installing your DRICore SMARTWALL panels is to measure the length. Now, I've already measured the height off the floor to the ceiling joist, and I've got 109.5 inches. So I'm going to go a little less than that. You don't want to go right at that because you're going to fight the panel. So instead of 109.5, I'm going to go 109 heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my panel. Let's just say 109 and 1/8. So I've got it marked. Now I'm going to use my drywall square to carry that line across. There we go. So it's marked. So that's my panel length. Now, there's a couple different ways to cut this. But what I recommend is old school, going with a crosscut saw. This is just a simple crosscut saw. The reason I like this versus a circular saw is that, number one, a circular saw, you'd have to make 2 cuts. The blade isn't deep enough to make the cut on one pass. You'd have to make a cut, turn it over, and make another cut. Okay, maybe it's quick, but what's going to happen is that's going to kick up a lot of dust. There's a lot of drywall dust that gets kicked up when you use a circular saw. You don't get that when you use this. You have a lot more control, and it's a lot less dust. So I would recommend just getting a really good crosscut saw and using it to cut this, because once you get through the OSB on the edges, it's just foam and drywall you're cutting at that point. It gets a lot easier. So I definitely recommend just using this because you're going to control the dust, and it's actually pretty easy to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the top off. It didn't take long at all, and it didn't create a lot of dust. So it's much better to go with a crosscut saw. So now I've got to cut the length, and I can go ahead and set it in place.